Hello, everyone, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha. And I'm here, and I'm sorry about being a few minutes late here, but I am here. I had a great visitor that I've been missing, and so I came home from doing errands and had a visitor, and I'm so grateful I did because she's one of my family gifted friends. So I just wanted to say I apologize. It's one of those things when you try to cram everybody in, and I'm going to get live on Instagram here. So I wanted to do this real quick too. Everything's taking a little bit. Oops. Everything's taking a little bit longer because of the navigation of things and realizing things out. So, that's what we have to do sometimes hi, Veronica. Thank you for being here with me and supporting me. There's always these things that come up, right? That, we kind of come into the last minute. So, doing errands and doing life and then managing, meeting up with a friend who came to get peaches. We have peaches and then, of course, when you want to talk with someone, and then there's this time thing, and it's just there's not enough time in the day sometimes when you're meant to be somewhere and you can't be because you're meant to be somewhere else, right? So there's that gratitude thing that I want to talk to you about. Let's see. Um, so I'm going to log in. And I'm going to be getting on Instagram here. And welcome. So today's conversation, as you're kind of catching me in this minute of being, I want to call it, that, as we're going forward, oops, that's not what I want to do. That being where we're at, that, we have these moments of, okay, no, cancel. So Instagram has changed something of theirs. Uh, cancel, disregard. I'm going to disregard. So going forward, hi Angela, welcome, welcome. All right. So today I'm going to talk about gratitude. Okay. And I am so grateful that you guys are putting up with me. And that's part of the dance of what we're doing right now is trying to figure out how to negotiate where we're at, what we're doing, and then being grateful, right? Well, you're catching me into that's where I needed to be. There we go. So now I'm going to be live on Instagram here. That going forward in our life and being grateful is not always the easiest thing. And this is one thing that I want everyone to know, that, as we're going forward and negotiating our world, if we find ourselves in gratitude, that it does help us negotiate our world. And when we're negotiating our world, there's there's enough to be negative about, right? And I'm Natasha Venter. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a motivational speaker. I do intuitive feng shui. I work with the energies of the now. I do a lot of negotiating with life, right? So as I go forward in this dance of where we're at, and that's what I kind of do. I call it the dance of life because of the fact that sometimes when we're dancing, sometimes we have a partner that wants us to do the cha-cha and we don't know how to dance the cha-cha. Sometimes our partner is someone who likes to listen to the really heavy metal rap, or metal rock, or whatever you want to call it, and acid rock. There we go. That's the right word I was looking for. And we don't know how to dance that, right? Or we find the dance partner that wants to dance our nice rhythm with us, right? So it depends on the day. But I can tell you, though, that as we're going through our life and managing our life, that when we can dance with our partner, no matter who it is, that gives us some grace. And, we would think that gratitude is something that gives us grace. Well, it does. It really does give us grace. The only thing, though, we can use it as a tool. And that's why I wanted to talk about gratitude today, is because as we're going forward and managing our life, that we don't always know how to be in gratitude sometimes. And, I can tell you through the ups and downs of my world, and I'm talking about, alcoholic years with my husband. There was almost over 20 years of that in marriage with an alcoholic husband. And then I had the death of my parents at the same time as having children. And there was always this story that something was coming up in my life that it was so hard to negotiate. And Angela, if you want to ask some questions, you can. And Veronica, if you want to ask some questions or communicate, I would be grateful. That when we're going forward, it's not always easy to find gratitude, because when we're hitting rock bottom, where is where is something to be happy about, right? And being in those moments and going forward, gratitude is one of those things. It's not putting a band-aid on an owie. It's not like you having a scratch and then you put gratitude band-aid on it, that it makes it all better. It doesn't. But I can tell you that I have healed much in me by being in gratitude through 99% of my day. And it's come to a point where I am standing in gratitude for even the silliest things. And people go, "How can you be in gratitude in the most difficult times?" Because of the fact that that's the way that hi Ward, that that is the most, sometimes the difficult thing about going forward is that when do we find gratitude? Hello on Instagram. When can we find gratitude? Well, I'm going to give you an example. The first time I find gratitude is waking up in the morning. And not everybody wants to wake up in the morning. I get that. We all have those times where we don't want to wake up. But I can tell you that me being in gratitude, waking up first thing in the morning, sets my whole day in a better attitude, because of the fact that many times we get up in the morning and it's just automatic. I can't do anything until I have my coffee, right? I can't do anything until I have my shower. Well, I can tell you that the times where, me not being a morning person, I don't drink coffee, by the way, but me being a non-morning person, I like to lay in bed a long time. I can wake up at 6:30. I won't get out of bed until almost 9. I like to be in that quiet of my bedroom, right? And so, hi Tara. So with that as we're going forward and negotiating ourselves, that being in gratitude can help. So you know what the first thing I do in the morning, sometimes even I'm still laying down, is pat my body. Thank you, body, for waking up. I pat my knees and, oh, thank you, knees, for telling me you're still here. And they can be the achiest knees. I cancel, clear, delete that. I don't have that. But sometimes I even thank my toes. Thank you, toes. I'm grateful for you because you help balancing me. So waking up first thing, I find that, thank you, body. I give myself a hug and say, thank you, body. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful you lungs like to breathe without even me thinking about it. I'm grateful for you, heart, for beating when I don't even think about you needing to beat. You know, thank you, mind, for thinking when I'm like not even wanting to think yet. So sometimes those things that are the most troublesome, I thank them, because of the fact that many times those things that are irritating in us in our bodies are the things that are walking forward with us because they're not recognized, right? Our body does not get recognized on a level a lot of times that we forget that my knee is hurting because I'm not recognizing it. So when I say, thank you, knee, I love you. I love you so much for being here. Or elbow, you know what? I know that I banged you the other day and I'm so sorry, but I'm grateful that you're still willing to bend. I'm still willing for you to negotiate and help me be able to write, because without an elbow, you're not able to write as easily either, because you can't turn. There's that mechanism for turning. Us women can turn our arms a little bit different than men, right? So with that waking up and saying even those things that are the most troublesome. Now, like for me, I went through a time where I was struggling with eating anything with vinegar in it because my liver and gallbladder were basically done and cooked after my adrenals went out the door, right? So what I ended up having to do, because of my adrenals and because of my because of my scenarios, I would say, I love you, liver and gallbladder. Thank you. Adrenals, thank you. Wherever you're at. Oh, adrenals are back here um, above the kidneys, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you for being where you're at. I'm so sorry I haven't paid attention to you, and I'm loving you. And the thing about things, it's kind of like that statement of, like with you, Tara, working with animals, that you notice the energy changes when you go from angry at it to loving with it. And and when we're going forward in our life, the more we can say I'm grateful for something, the better it feels, the more it gets recognized. It says, oh, I'm finally heard. It's kind of like that. Thank you, Tara, for checking in and saying absolutely. You said it's easy to forget to appreciate our bodies and ourselves. Yes, it is. Tara was saying on Facebook. So I'm live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube channel. So with that, I just on Wednesdays I do this multitude of places, right? So I want people to know, though, that gratitude is not just writing three things down in the morning and three things down at the night. That helps a lot, right? The gratitude goes a lot further. It goes a lot further because of the fact that we don't always appreciate the little things. And that's how the universe of love talks with us, right? It talks with us through the little things in our life, and being in gratitude, being grateful, it can really help us. So, Ward, you say, if I have gratitude for my body or about things that I have in my life, is that same as gratitude for people, or is it different? No, no. Now, I'm going to tell you, though, when you think about gratitude, that it depends on what you know of those people. Like there's strangers that I walk up to and I say, I'm so grateful for you, for being here or like, okay, let me give you an example. I'm getting my brain straight here. That I'm in the checkout store. I don't know that person for Adam unless I go to that store a lot, right? But I say, thank you. I'm grateful that you're here doing your job for you. I'm grateful that you have this job to do. And they're like going, okay, thank you. They don't know that for Adam. But I can tell you, when I say, lungs, thank you for breathing when I didn't ask you to, that's a little bit more personal. So the only thing word that I would say that is different between gratitude for your life and your personal things and things that for people outside of you is your relationship with them. So grateful that, you could be grateful for a stranger immensely for saving your child's life, right? But you don't know them, but that situation gave you just immense amount of gratitude. But yet somebody who decided to be at the checkout store, you're not necessarily having the same gratitude. So I would call the gratitude is more of a personal perception of how that scenario impacts your life. And when we can notice those little things, like there's a situation where especially when my husband was drinking, celebrating 10 years sober this month, September. I'm so grateful. Oops, let me pull you a little bit forward here. I'm grateful for my technology because I'm able to negotiate it better than I ever did before. Okay, so like let's say there was still times where my husband and I, we don't see eye to eye because we're two different people. We're two different situations. He was brought up one way, I was brought up another way. I have a very gray thinking of ideas, and he's very literal and black and white. We're oil and water, fire and water. It doesn't matter what you want to call it, but we're not always working the same, right? So we have a different perception. There's been times where we're going down the rabbit hole of an argument, and I stop when there's a pause, because sometimes there is a pause in an argument, right? especially if we kind of just breathe for a minute before we rebound, right? I've said in the past, babe, I'm grateful for this conversation, this argument, because I'm grateful for stirring the pot enough that we can get this done maybe and we don't have to recircle back around again. And he looks at me. You're grateful for this moment? Yes, actually, I am grateful for this moment because of the fact that if I did not have this stirring of the pot, the old saying that it is, or the moment of this stirring things up, this moment of of different perceptions, I wouldn't know your perception as well as I do, and and it wouldn't go into my memory as well because sometimes you know how you hear your spouse or you hear your mate or you hear a friend, but you don't necessarily absorb it. And when we're going through our negotiations, sometimes we absorb it a little bit differently. So that's where sometimes when I can say that I am grateful for a moment of a situation or grateful for a discomfort moment. I tell the universe all the time when I'm doing shadow work, and if you know what shadow work is, it's bringing up those negative things, those ouchy things, those achy things, to make us look at things so that we can say, am I done with this or am I going to keep it going? And a lot of times when the universe brings up an achiness in me, I'd say, "Thank you. I'm grateful for this." Thank you for giving me the moment. I'm grateful for this moment to self-learn about myself so that I can do better in my future. Thank you for that flubble, that mistake, that whatever I made, whatever you wanna call it. I call mistakes flubbles now because of the fact that sometimes my mistake is something that I didn't really think about, and so it was a flubble, it was an oops, it was like a speed bump. Okay, I got to rejuvenate or regain my footing again. But sometimes when I do that, I'm grateful for that experience. I don't want to keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. It's like hitting my head against the wall over and over and over again. I don't want to do that. So that's where being grateful for that moment gives me a moment of of being with it instead of being against it. Does that make sense to everyone? That being in a moment where you're meeting it with more grace, more love, gives us an opportunity to hold on to that moment a little differently because of the fact that a lot of times our arguments are not for the bad. They're for learning. They're for stability. They're for stretching and pulling. It's like taffy. Taffy wouldn't be taffy unless it got stretched and pulled several times, right? And then it becomes more easier to eat. So with that if we stretch and pull things, many times there's that gratitude. Now there's times when I've been arguing with my husband and said, can we stop? We need to stop because the fact we're going down the same rabbit hole that we tried to go down before, and I don't want to go there again. And then I say, I'm grateful for this knowing that, and if I have to say that inside of me and not outwardly, then I have a different perception about it. Sometimes the other people that's around you can't hear that you're grateful for something, but you can say that in yourself. You could say, grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. And when we can go into that gratitude moment, instead of being reactionary to something, we can go interaction. And when we go into that interaction, just like the achy part of our body, if I had an achy elbow, let's say, and that achy elbow was really talking to me, I'm grateful for you for reminding me that I have an elbow that I need to pay attention to. That when we come into that moment, instead of going, "Oh, you freaking get out, why don't you?" And what does it do? It stirs up the energy tighter, and it gets more angry. But if you say, "You know what? I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you're here to remind me that you're here. I'm asking for healing on you, with you, but I'm grateful that you're here to remind me that you're here." And when we go forward in that moment of being in gratitude, there's a different feeling that comes across, right? Just like for me, I'm very, very dyslexic. There's some days where I can't even read. My brain just goes, I don't know what it does, but it goes. And I work in an elementary school to help kids read who are dyslexic themselves, because the fact that I understand there are days, just like there's days where they're starting to read and I say, "Oh, do you notice you're having one of those days?" And they go, "Yeah, I do." Well, I'm grateful that you're noticing that you have these days, because it's okay that you have these uneasy days. It's okay that you don't have an exact day every day. So what are you learning about today? What are you doing today that you can learn? Oh, well, I learned from working with you that if I reread it 3 or 4 times, that I don't make so many flubbles. I don't make so many mistakes. Yes, because you're not making mistakes. It's just your brain's not working straightforward today, and it's just you need to bring it along sometimes. And the kids start laughing because they don't really take it as a negative thing anymore. And that's the thing about life. We, as I said this at the beginning, we have enough. I'm going to call it shit. Enough shit in the moments. And oh shoot, I wish I could get back to her. I'm gonna have to let me do a message real quick here. I apologize, because there's something that's timely there that I need to work with. And so I'm going to keep talking. It's called multitasking, right? Doing the work. So when we're going forward and living our life, that, being in gratitude really works. Just like this one person who's messaging me right now. I'm grateful that she did now instead of at 5 o'clock, because something that we're supposed to do today is ending at 5. And so I'm going to be getting her here. Not squirreling, by the way, but I can't do it on my phone. So let's see here. And it might take me a second to type here. Yes, till 5. Very good. At the SSB meeting, SSB building. There we go. Get the right word. There we go. Okay. So thank you for letting me do that real quick. So with that, see, isn't that life? Now, what I am grateful for is that this person, here's a perfect example, interrupted the show, right? But I'm grateful that she cared enough to reach out to me to be able to see if she can still do something. I'm grateful for that. And instead of getting into the pitfalls of why did this happen and la da 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 da, da, I try to take the high road. I'm good at that, actually, if people know me, to taking the higher road, because of the fact that when we take the higher road, we have so much, I'm gonna call it shit in our world. We have enough shit in our world that we don't need more shit. And so how we navigate our world with gratitude, and we open up our world with gratitude, it can really help. Now, when my husband was drinking, he was a pessimist, and I lived with a child that was a pessimist. I have a child in myself that are optimists, right? So if you're a pessimist, it's harder to find something to be grateful for. So my husband, I'll use him as a scapegoat here. I'm grateful for him because he's willing to be that for me sometimes. That, I had asked this person, I'm going to do that. I'm going to ask this person at the end of the day, how was your day? Ah, da 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 da. I said, is there anything good that happened that you could be grateful for? And would look, think, no. And then all of a sudden I'd say, so me giving you a kiss in the morning, that wasn't something to be grateful for? Oh, yeah. You having dinner cooked for you when you came home, that wasn't something to be grateful for? Oh, yeah. Having someone who's willing to listen to your day. Oh, yeah. Did you have a client or someone who came in the door that gave you a smile on your face? Oh, yeah. See, there's something to be grateful for. So sometimes we have to really grab, especially for somebody who doesn't look very easily at things to be grateful for. We have to pull them out because of the fact that many times we don't always see them. So Ward, I'm a okay. So I'm gonna have to. So I am. And people expect me to change the way I think instead of trying to understand my vision, my visual. See, I'm having problems reading. Okay. Um, so he is a new, I can't even say that word and I apologize. I'm not, that's the thing is I am clearly, I know my things, but there's certain words that um, uh, I know how to say them, but it's the figuring out, right? So people expect me to change the way of I think instead of trying to understand my visuality in this world. But who is the one deciding that the new just are the ones that are wrong thoughts? So what have I heard? I have a hard time to be thankful for in my mind and thoughts is because I just had um, autism. My life would be more loneliness. Yes. So with that, you know, we're all individuals. We're all individuals. We are so much individuals. And we have to be grateful for our individuality. You know, I don't fit in a box either. I'm going to tell you that if people knew what was going on, I had a conversation with somebody who was on the autistic scale and saw the world very mathematical. Well, I'm not a mathematician. Yet I understood his logistics because I understood the dimensions, the star beings, the layers. I play in those fields, right? There's nothing that surprises me. People always say, I have this weird thinking about something, and I go, "Oh, yeah. I knew that before I was born." I'm one that I remember being born. I remember a lot of things about writing my contract coming into this world. I remember past lives like they were just like 2 minutes ago, right? And so with that going forward in our life, that if we don't appreciate and we're grateful for our individuality, then who will be? And we have different perceptions. We have different knowings. We all have different ways of thinking. And if we are willing to negotiate that waters, right, then we're able to say that it's okay. Like in the morning when I'm hugging myself, is there anybody else in the room? Probably not, right? If I'm saying thank you, sometimes I'm sitting in my car, and there's somebody else and I'm just holding my body like this, and I have a part of me that's kind of aching, and I just hold it and I say I'm grateful for you. Do I need to advertise that? No. But I can tell you that when I wake up thinking of things to be grateful for, if I spend the end of the day thinking of things that I'm grateful for, because I can tell you that those years when I was having my children and my parents were dying at the same time, I was 6 weeks away from having my first child when my dad died. 3 weeks after my second child was born, I found out my mom had Lou Gehrig's disease and she was passed a year after. And then when my child was in second and 4 years old, that my uncle had Lou Gehrig's disease, and I had to do the same thing. So with that there was years where I struggled with gratitude myself, and the thing that I had to do was I had to force myself to think of something that I was grateful for. One day, I told when my mom was had Lou Gehrig's disease and life was just getting really, it just was. I sold two houses, bought one, moved into this house here. My actually where my spiritual table is where my mom passed away. Actually, that we moved into this house, And then my husband changed jobs, and so that was all in 1 year. Was found out my mom had the Greg's disease, had a 4-year old, have a newborn, sold a house, sold 2 houses, bought one. Husband changed the job. Oh, and by the way, he was an alcoholic. So with that I struggled having find gratitude. But the thing is, so I forced myself. I forced myself in the morning. So there's one day that I was not wanting to get out of bed. I was very depressed, very low. And I told God, okay, if you put my feet on the ground, at this time, I wasn't even sure there was a God, but I still said the same thing. God, if you put my feet on the ground, I will walk the rest of the day. Halfway through the day, I realized that he did put my feet on the floor, and I got out of bed soon after that. And I said, thank you for putting my feet on the floor. I am grateful because now I can do what I need to do in this day. Right. And so with that when we're working through our life, that we can't always find something for gratitude. But I can tell you that there's this one day when I noticed that there was a raindrop on a blade of grass. It was a magical moment for me in a very dark time. And what did I do? I remembered that moment to say my gratitudes at the end of the day. Because of the fact that if we don't do something like that, then life keeps building on us, laying on us, doing those things. And even if we have those mental mind stop parts of us, um, so that if you have wrong thoughts, well, the only way we can have righter thoughts is by finding love, by having something of gratitude, because of the fact that love and gratitude sits at the same vibration. It sits at the same vibration. If we're always sitting in the negative, the only way we can bring negative up is by finding gratitude, finding love for thyself. So even if you're closing your eyes and you're like, can I see, opening them up, I'm grateful that I can see. You know, find something that you're grateful for. Now, I tried to do this where I found 3 things when I first woke up in the morning, even if it was I'm just breathing, even if it's my toes wiggle, even if it's I have covers over me, even if it was that that my tummy hurt because I didn't eat very well the day before because of basically when those years I was eating a box of chocolate graham crackers pretty much every day, so I was not eating well. So my digestive system kind of went awry. That's why my adrenals were so screwed up. That when we're going into these things that I try to find the something for gratitude. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it's something of the better. And like I said, that when I would say I'm grateful for this argument that I was having with my dear soul husband, that I would say I'm grateful for it somewhere in me to have the realization that we're going to do better. We have the opportunity to do better. And if we're not necessarily, if we find someone that's willing to talk to us, isn't that something to be grateful for? Because for me, sometimes I feel like I'm the octagon shape trying to get into a square peg or square hole. It ain't gonna happen, right? I have too many sides of me. I have too many stretch and pulls of me to do. And can I have conversations sometimes with somebody? I do have conversations that are every day. Now, is it exhausting when I have to do that day in and day out? Yes, because I love to have conversations of dimensions and places and worlds to go. And if you have ever seen Doctor Strange movies, that is the world I live in, right? So if I see something's going wrong in this dimension, I talk to a side dimension to see how it can do better, right? So with that, then people, me saying that, people are probably thinking I'm strange, but it works for me. It really works for me. And I am grateful for my knowings because these knowings are the things that gets me through my day, right? If I didn't believe in my parents going certain places, would I be as happy as I am? Those belief systems, as much as they are a little bit off and skewed to according to some people who is their belief system skewed to, right? So with that, the it's not necessarily are we wrong or right. Now, remembering though that if we are someone that is struggling with certain scenarios, like for me, I can't go up to everybody and talk to them about dimensions and how I communicate with animals. And by the way, your animal is saying this, and they don't like it that you do that. And I'm on the street. Do you think they would want to hear me? Probably not, right? Because of the way that they're walking. They're walking very shut off. So they're not going to want to hear anything I have to say. So what do I have to do? Keep walking. It's not my time. But I'm grateful for the awareness. I'm grateful for that awareness that I can actually hear what that dog is saying. And then I talk with the dog. I'm sorry that you have an owner that does this to you. Maybe I'll pray that things will change for you. And then the dog says, thank you for hearing me. Because sometimes the animal being heard is the trick. And I can tell you that there's a lot of autistic people that I talk with telepathically so that they feel like they're heard, right? Because I can do that. And I'm grateful for that knowing. I'm grateful for that ability. I'm grateful for that scenario that is helping with that, right? So, with that, blessings to all while we're going through this because life is hard enough. We can sit in the negative way longer than we should. But I can tell you that going into gratitude can give you a moment in a very hard time, in a very hard place, in a very hard knowing. If you can find one thing to be grateful for, it shifts the whole aspect of the situation and brings you out more on top. I was asked to go to court because I was doing something for someone. And it was against somebody else's. So I was doing something for someone, but it was against somebody else's belief. So this person took me to court to stop me from doing what I was doing for this person. What did I do on the way to court? Thank you for putting this person in my life to teach me what I was supposed to learn. I'm grateful for this person to come be in my life to give me the strength of boundaries and knowing how to stand up for myself. I'm grateful for this person. Thank you for putting this situation in my life so that I learn how I'm supposed to do. So what I did, instead of being the victim of the scenario, I was able to negotiate my world a little bit differently. I was able to negotiate the love a little bit differently. And I can tell you that when I sat in gratitude, when this person asked me to forgive them, what was I able to do a little bit more gracefully? Forgive. Because of the fact that I knew that not everything was about me. That person was insecure. That person was going through a lot of trauma, drama in their life. And it's not a cliche word with me. I know that there's drama and there's trauma that comes from everything. And so there's a lot of trauma, drama in this person's life. They were having a very hard time. They were put in situations they didn't know better to do better. They didn't know better to do better. And they didn't have gratitude. I had gratitude. Even though during that time my father was passing away. So with that going through our life and managing our life, and my dad and I were two peas in a pod. If you watched my show on Monday about soul families, my dad and I were two peas in a pod, and we have great love for each other. So with that it's not necessarily that we can do, but I can tell you that gratitude brings us out. It gives us a tool to be able to be out with more people. So we can say that I'm grateful for you for working today to a Czech person, which means that we are looking at this relationship just a little bit different. Just a little bit different. Then doesn't mean that we have to do a lot, but just a little bit different can alter the way that you negotiate. Can alter the way you negotiate. And that's the thing that gives life a little bit easier walk when we're doing it. I do hope this helps. If you need any help in life, having a session with me, I do life coaching. I do a lot of working. I can see the different reasons why things are happening. Like I had some person sat down with me for I was at a fair, um, and they sat down with me and they go, I said, so you had a question? And she goes, actually, everything that you looped together and saw together now makes total sense. And I can see why it's in my life. And I see ways that I can negotiate it because of the tools that you gave me. So with that I love to give tools. I love to give support for you in your life and negotiating it. So if you're looking for a session, a life coaching session, that you can reach me at angelicclarifications.com. I have many belief systems. It's hard to surprise me, that because I haven't done it in this lifetime, I've done it in other lifetimes. So there's not much that surprises me. And but yet I'm asking for logistics here of being kind to me. So you can reach me at angelicclarifications.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and my YouTube channel, doing different, and Twitter and LinkedIn, helping you with daily quotes and inspirations. So this is at the end of the show. What I would like to do is, I'm also on podcasts. You can find me on podcasts. These shows will be on podcasts that I will pull oracle cards. So if you're looking for an oracle card, please let me know. I'm going to be doing the gentle giants or gentle creatures. These guys, the messages that they give are so right on and so loving. So these are the gentle creatures. Listen, this is the one about listening. Isn't that cute? That's just me. You're welcome, Tara. I'm also going to be doing dragons. So I got the gentle creatures, the dragons, and then the path of the soul. The path of the soul is another one. So mention which card you would like. I'm also going to do Ganesh. If anybody knows Ganesh is great at breaking old habits, breaking down scenarios. So you can do Ganesh. I can do Ganesh. So if you want, gentle creatures. Veronica says gentle creatures on Instagram. If you would like me to do this one, so I am doing oracle card reading for you. All you have to do is say which deck you want. So it's either Ganesh, dragons, the Path of the Soul, which are cards like this, so pretty. The Path of the Soul or gentle creatures. All you have to do is put an intention out there, and the cards get that intention. So Veronica says gentle creatures, please, and that's who I will. So I'm going to do. So please speak up if you would like to. I am not going to be doing anybody joining my show today. Thank you very much on Instagram. I apologize. Okay, so this is for Veronica. So Veronica, if you can put out your intention, please, of what you would like to know. And you don't have to tell me here. Okay. And Tara, you're next with gentle creatures. These cute. These are. Okay, let me tune in. Veronica. You know what I'm getting? This card right here has been calling to me. Oh, daybreak. 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 I try to get out of the daybreak. So there is a creature down here, a horse. There is a bigger creature right here. It's at daybreak. And I think there's other horses in the background. Okay. This is a new card. I have not gotten this card yet. So you're the first one, Veronica. So daybreak. So I will read daybreak for you. Oh, and there's a bunch of birds coming out. And the creature in white and is white is petting the horse's front. So daybreak. Daybreak. And this is what it says, and please be patient with me today. Daybreak dawns as the adventurers prepare for another day. Birds take off to show them the way of today's journey. It is time to face a new set of challenges. They understand that the way they begin isn't actually the way that they must end. Hmm. For them, they avoid locking themselves into someone else's patterns. Should they have an argument in the morning and hold on to it until the nightfall? No, this group understands that our days are not run by hot words. Rather, a way they are Okay. Rather, the way they go forward offers them a chance to grow even more. So they welcome a soft glow of this new day, promising one another that the most urgent things is to tackle obstacles, to move beyond rather than hang on to then lug more baggage around. Challenge yourself to start each day as a promise rather than a problem. Hmm. So I'm going to read that last little bit again. Promising one another that the most urgent thing is to tackle obstacles, to move beyond rather than lug more luggage around. Challenge yourself to start each day as a promise more than a problem. And that is the story of gratitude. When you can pick 3 things, 4 things, 5 things to be grateful in the morning, it's amazing how the day changes. And I hope that was good for you. Okay, so Tara, uh, Tara Ward, if you're still here, I would love to do a card reading for you. So clear the deck. Digital creatures for Tara. Putting in your intention. What is something that you'd like, or if it's just something you would like to see what they want to tell you? Hmm. Veronica says, very good. I'm glad. Yeah, you're going through a lot, my dear, too. So it is about being grateful. And those places where you ask me questions on, I would start saying I'm grateful for you, because that will help. Okay, let's clear the energy and go for Tara to give her a clear option here. For Tara. What is Tara wanting? Gentle creatures, bring out a card for Tara so that she can get the answer that she's wanting. Okay, let me clear the cards again. There we go. Cleared it. I was talking to changing the aspect here. Okay, I'm going to go with this card because this card was starting to work its way out. Heard. Yes, heard. So here's heard. So this is a creature sitting on top of a stump, has tires around. There's actually a tennis ball down here. And there's something with that tennis ball that's holding it in place. I don't know what it is. Heard. So heard is the word. Okay, so I'm going to pull that here. Heard. Heard. And this is for you, Tara. Have you ever felt like no one hears you? Even when you sit perched on a barrel waiting for the coming storm, will there be someone who has a moment to listen to your fears? Sometimes that is the small someone you may have not noticed until now. Sometimes it is someone taking the time to come out of their own shell to let you know they are there to hold space for you. Oh, I guess that's what it is. So down there's a little something in a shell. Sometimes it's someone taking its time to come out of their own shell to let you know that they are there to hold space for you. Our friend has climbed up on a perch by using old tires. They have been calling for help into the wind only to hear their own voice be blown away. So much sadness can only be contained by letting it go into the fierce gale that sends those clouds. scuttling across the sky. Fearing everything. They cling to their seats. Let me make sure I'm on the same one. Yes. They cling to their seat, wondering why they even try. Then they hear it, the small, soft, hello, friend, of someone who cares. That is the moment when they understand down to their very cellular level that everything will be okay. When you feel unheard, remember that you do matter to someone. That person hears you. How can you be that quiet voice for someone else in your life? So there's a balance between being heard and not being heard. And sometimes, it is about being heard by someone. And I want everyone to know that you are valuable, you are worthy of being heard. Sometimes we try to be heard by the wrong people who will not honor us. And that's where turning our world from gratitude to from not being in gratitude to gratitude can bring in the more softer, gentler wisdom of being heard. Thank you, Tara, for asking to do that card. Is there anybody else who would like to have one? I am going to do the dragons. The dragons, or is it Ganesh? Dragons or Ganesh? Dragons or Ganesh? Dragons. Dragons is what I heard. Okay. Thank you, Ganesh, for giving up. Okay. So this is for a card for everyone. I have a lot to say about certain things, but not sure anybody really wants to listen up. I can understand that statement full-heartedly. I'm actually married to a man who... So with that, Tara, I'm willing, right? I'm willing. So, because my husband does not understand my world. He does not understand my world. And so I understand. So, okay, here's a dragon's card for everyone. I love you too, girl. We spent a lot of time in the car together, and it was a blessing. We actually spent a lot of time in a haunted house too. Oh, that was an interesting ride. Matter of fact, I need to go back over there. Okay, this is for a card from the dragons to everyone. What is the thing that dragon wants us to know now for our move forward? What does dragon want us to know? Woo! Okay. 3 cards. So I guess I'm reading 3 cards. So it was first the healer. Then it's like sin gold. And then the next one is Orban. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Orban. So sin gold, the healer, and then sin gold. So I'm going to do the healer first because that was... So this is 1056. 1056. The Guardian. Oh, the Guardians. Okay, so the first card is, this is for the dragons, for everyone. So everybody can get something off these cards, even if it was for somebody else. You may love your work, but does it defend you? You also need time to be you. You may love your work, but does it not define you? You also need time to be you. It's a good one. This gentle yet powerful dragon is a true guardian of all healers on earth. He connects particularly to those who work energetically. He reminds us that although we may walk our talk, we also need to heed our own advice. We are not the bottomless pit of energy and need to take time out of our now and again. His message: I am the guardian of healers. You are capable of great things on earth as a healer and as a light for others to follow. But to do this, you must burn brightly and throw light into the shadows of your world. You give a great deal to others, but you must also make time for yourself. You need to rest and recharge. Your energy tank requires refilling, lest you become depleted. Make time to meditate, rejuvenate, relax, and, above all, to laugh. You may love your work, but does it not define you? You also need time to be you, a wife, a husband, a mother, a father, a daughter, son, sister, brother, or any other role you fulfill. He reminds us not to take ourselves or life too seriously. If we do, we risk forgetting that we are just one of the cog in the great wheel of life. Ooh, isn't that a good one? That's a really good one. Okay, and then sin gold is the next one. Yeah, that's that whole thing about gratitude is if we pay attention to, I'm so grateful that I was able to do what I did today. I was so grateful that I was able to manage what I did without hurting people's feelings today. Isn't that huge? So that's 10, 11, 12. Good thing I know Roman numerals. Got to go the right way though. So 10, 11, 12. There's 11. And sin gold. Sin gold. Beautiful serpent. Beautiful serpent. Do that which lights your heart to bring forth the deeper inner smile within you. Wow. Sin gold is a dragon of gratitude, and he arrives when we need to take notice and acknowledge our old negative patterns. He asks us to recognize the old emotional blocks. For example, these can be self-doubt, fear, and jealousy. I can't make this up. This is what card came out. He has these words to say about gratitude. Review your life to date and define things to be grateful for, so you can rejoice in who you are. Acknowledge the fears, envy, guilt, and anger within. Accept the niggling clouds. Admit they are present, for they are a part of you, but you have no need to dwell there, for they are part of your past and are no longer relevant to your life now. Instead, reveal in a pure joy of being alive. Seek the positive in your existence here on earth. Uncover the things to rejoice about. Do which lights your heart to bring forth your deep inner smile from within. Seek a totem to act as a reminder. You can be an object of the small enough to carry or wear daily. Maybe a beautiful shell or a crystal. Set the intention within it to stay focused on being joyous and grateful, so that when the totem is on your person, it reminds you that all is as it should be. You are learning the lesson of gratitude, and you are exactly where you should be in now. Think, chant, write, or sing joy, happiness, peace, laughter, but above all, gratitude. Put it to music, dance with it. Practice gratitude numerous times daily until joy and feeling of gratitude become an intersync part of your everyday life. Count your blessings until an attitude of gratitude resides in your heart and settles you into a new pattern of being. Go forward with love deep in your heart. That is gratitude, a deep love. And I can tell you, people wonder why I feel so much love from you, Natasha, because of the fact that hi, Stephanie, because I am so much about gratitude. So I'm pulling cards right now. I'm sorry, this conversation was about gratitude. Sorry that you didn't reach me at the very beginning, but welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you would like a card, I do the gentle creatures, dragons, or Ganesh, or the path of the soul is this one. But right now I am reading the last card of, this is the card for everybody. Okay. Orban. So this is 14. Orban. Reconnect to your physical body. Get out of your head. isn't that isn't that interesting? Because that is about when we wake up in the morning. If we just say, I need coffee, but if we say, thank you, toes, for being me. Thank you for breathing. Thank you, body, for being alive. Thank you, 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 thank you. A lot of times we get out of our heads. So here is his message. Reconnect to your physical body. Get out of your head. If Orban has turned up today, it is to reassure you that you can achieve what is required. You may have to dig deep within yourself and maybe do this for a long haul, but you can and will succeed. This skirting red dragon's connection is firmly grounded and in effect connects to our base chakra. That's our first chakra, the red one. He therefore relates to everything that makes up our physical lives and world we create in ourselves. Orban's message is simple one. Nothing in this world Nothing in this world that you call home is insurmountable. Nothing is too big to deal with. Get your feet back on the ground and arch yourself into your physical reality. Having your head in the clouds will not give you an answer you desire or require. Connect to your base chakra and reconnect to your physical body. Get out of your head and into your body. Release your ever tumbling and swirling thoughts. When you are more grounded in this way, you will be better placed to deal with the matters that are demanding your attention. You will then be able to handle them fully and with ease, freeing you to move forward. Your time is best spent tackling whatever is demanding your time. Deal with it totally, and then you will be in a position to move forward. Although Orban is a tough talking dragon, sometimes you need to hear it as it is. He is a great ally when you need to get the job done and deal with the here and now. Orban finishes his message with, seek the path, least resistance. The more you tussle with a problem, the tighter the noose becomes, eventually strangling the situation. Wow, that last statement, I'm going to reread that. That's huge. Orban finishes his message with, seek the path of least resistance. The more you tussle with a problem, the tighter the noose becomes, eventually strangling the situation. Strangling the situation. Wow, that's huge. That's huge. So, Stephanie, would you like to have a card pulled for you, my dear? I would love to do that with you. So you can pick the dragons. Thank you, dragons. I'm grateful for the messages. Isn't that interesting that one was about gratitude and all of them were about gratitude because that was the conversation. I sat there last night asking the universe, what would you like me to talk about? And they say gratitude because gratitude is not it's not done enough. That's the thing that brings us up in this world is gratitude. So if you are having a struggle, the times I have struggles is the time that I bring gratitude up. And those gratitude moments, like I said, even if I'm having a conversation with someone that's not going very well, I have gratitude for it because it's bringing me in new awareness. It's bringing me new thoughts about things. It's bringing me into new ideas on how to work through something with somebody. So, with that, blessings to all. And please remember, you can re listen to this either on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or my YouTube channel. All shows are on my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter. I have other quick videos on my YouTube channel. I also have something called Let's Get Tiggered, Not Triggered. And so those I do quick little videos on that I only post on my YouTube channel. So blessings to all. I will see you next Monday, 4 o'clock Pacific time. If you are in the UK, I am sorry. I do not know that time and I apologize. I know that my evening is usually your mornings and my mornings are usually your evenings. So I used to have a friend in the UK. So blessings to everyone and know that no matter what you're doing, please find one thing to be grateful in the morning and one thing to be grateful in the middle of the day and one thing grateful in the end, even if it is that you're just breathing. Blessings to all. Bye now.